Hey everybody, welcome to Game 2 of the DreamLeague Season 13 Group Stage for C. Alliance versus Virtus.pro Game 2 of this best of 3. The winner of this goes on to face IG. And of course, the loser will face Reality Rift. The top two of this group, Cinderin, who I'm joined by the way. The top two of this group will be in the upper bracket of the main event. And the bottom two will go to the lower bracket, which is a best of 1. Hello, Cinderin.
Hello. Yeah, you don't want to go to that best of 1 to start out, but obviously losing this series is not the end of the road if you can beat the other two teams or if you can win a rematch that you might face later on. So plenty of games to be played here. Obviously just the start, but yeah, getting off to a good start always feels great, and Alliance did just that. So my prediction for this series is that, or this game rather, that VP will not give them IO again. I will bet my life savings that if it goes through Alliance, we'll first pick it.
Life savings. That's a little harsh. That's a little too extreme.
What if they want savings?
I mean, haven't you seen these teams? That's true, actually. You might have nothing in there. That could be a zero risk situation.
Some teams like to everything.
They like to prove that they can do things other ways without a broken hero. Or what people assume is a broken hero. They have
based
large
on how
egos.
Alliance played that last game, I think you just get it again. You seemed very comfortable, very confident. VP might go with a different approach to solving it this game, but you see that the bans similar to last game are already heroes that would be good against IO anyway. Disruptor as well as PL banned out. Respect ban of PL against Epileptic Kid. I can get behind that. He plays a very good PL. And similar for VP, their respect ban Timbersaw both games against Limp. So very interesting. To see that. This will more than likely be an IO ban. If it's not, Alliance will first pick IO, and VP will have a 1-2 punch that they're ready with already. Like they're going to insta-pick the next two.
Yeah, they'll have a plan, and then they'll also assume that he won't get another Essence Ring to start things off.
Right.
Along with every other neutral item that he got that game. So far, no Wyvern banned. That was a ban from the first game, and Tiny as well. It is an IO, like you said, so that leaves the Tiny and Wyvern open.
First pick Tiny for Alliance is a possibility. Both Henskin and Limp play it. Puck is in. True. They might rate that higher. Oh, whatever. I wouldn't be mad at Tiny Puck here from VP. Not just because the heroes are good and have a lot of damage in a fighting meta, but also just, their team identity. I think these kind of heroes would be great for their players. Alternatively, put save on Rubik. And put Rezo on a bit more of an active hero than an Omni Knight, I think. Yeah. If you do want to put him on a defensive hero, I think Abaddon is a more interesting choice because then he can more reliably frontline. I think that's the biggest upside that Abaddon has over Omni is his ability to run in front, give vision, and if you get gone on, you don't just die. You have a failsafe built in.
To be fair, he didn't die until the very end of the game. That wasn't the issue, right?
Yeah, but he also didn't frontline.
True. That is true.
So, then it's easy to play with 0 deaths if you're sitting in the fountain. I can say from experience that it's hard to get killed in there.
What do you mean from it? What does that even mean?
My team lost, you're all fucking feeders, It's just, I think that was actually a problem we didn't really talk about in the last game for VP, was that they had a hard time sending a hero in front to give info. Magnus didn't really want to go in first, Omni didn't really want to go in first, and Slark didn't really want to go in first because all three of them hate getting doomed. And that's where if you had a hero like Abaddon who could go in front and give vision, and even if you get doomed on Abaddon, your fight's not over. Like, you can outlast that doom. It won't kill you.
Name the heroes that don't mind being doomed, other than like supports that you're not. Like, I can think of one core that maybe, you still don't want to get doomed, but it doesn't feel as bad, and that's Lifestealer.
Razor, Lifestealer, Death Prophet.
True. If you get your spells off with Death Prophet, I assume.
Right. Yeah. It's always, there's no hero in Dota that doesn't need to cast spells, right? So I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but there's definitely some heroes that it's way less severe on to get doomed.
Mm-hmm. So not going the Abaddon.
Yep, they went the Legion Commander instead. Maybe they just don't like Abaddon. Maybe it's a player preference thing, or it's because Slark is in the pool, and they're too concerned about Slark into Rubik plus Abaddon. I actually think that is the reason here for VP's choice. So,
okay.
What do you do as Alliance?
You have a little carry potential with Legion, technically.
Really?
Yeah, Puck. Puck's always good. I mean, when in doubt, just pick all roots, because I feel like roots are amazing this patch. Now, if you do pick a puck, do you even know what position that is? Isn't it like super flexible?
Could be 4, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And all of the players in this team play it on 4, 2, and 3. I believe.
I've seen a lot of high-level pubs play it as a 5 as well. I don't know if they've changed anything in the last mini patch.
Yeah. Fata's puck is great, so yeah, you could do that. But they go for the Wyvern. Also good. You get the Cold Embrace against Duel. You have Curse, which is 2 ways of just making Duel very weak. You have really good team fight with Treant. You have tons of control. Now that Treant first spell deals damage, I think the support duo is a lot better than it used to be. It's more like in the past when you pick these 2 heroes together, you were kind of saying, okay, our cores will do the damage, we'll do the control, but now both of them have good damage and control. So, and now that Wyvern can deal damage and Curse, that's the other thing, right? You go back 3 months, Treant had very low damage, and Wyvern couldn't deal damage and Curse, and now both of those things are changed, so they're both better. And that does wonders for this combo in terms of presence and team fights that they can both
some major slowage
contribute that way.
That's a word, right? Slowage.
Crazy slows too. Absolutely.
No, slowage, please.
It's what happens in the. It's like sewage and slow together.
Exactly. It's like it's cancerous, but you don't. It's just slowage.
It's like you're walking through feces. Yes.
Cesspool.
Right up your alley.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Morphling is going to be the final ban of the second phase for Alliance. And Virtus.pro. Actually, what do you think of Alliance? I mean, I know you talked about the reasons Wyvern's actually good in this game, and I totally agree, but is it a bit of a risk showing both supports right off the bat? Like, are there any major cons of doing so?
They can both be cores as well. I think
really
more than likely, if one of them is a core, it will be Wyvern.
So the offlane Wyvern's a thing.
It is, and the one thing that made that way better, OG played it in the past even before it had the better Curse, but now that you can deal damage in Curse, a core Wyvern can not necessarily kill an enemy hero, but maybe take 60% of their health during the Curse. And that's...
Do you build it any kind of way? Because I remember Ice back in the day just played like super right click, and I thought that was a lot of fun. You get the Agnum Scepter or whatever, but it's nothing like that, I'm guessing, anymore.
I think core Wyverns will generally go Orchid, Phase Boots, and then they will take the damage talent on level 10.
Okay, so it is kind of.
Then you curse and Orchid someone, and you just hit them for 1,000,000 damage, and then when the curse ends, they explode from the Orchid amp.
That's sick. I hope we see.
It's a lot harder to do that into Legion though, because there's a hard dispel that can remove the Orchid and the Arctic Burn. So this matchup by all means goes both ways. I think Wyvern is very bad against Legion in lane, but then very good against Legion later in the game. So what you want to do as VP is you want Legion to face this Wyvern in lane. Wyvern does pretty much nothing to you. Arctic Burn gets purged by press the attack. Wyvern's right clicks are terrible, so what Legion can just trade with you. Or Legion can just pretend you don't exist and just stand in the creep wave and use Moment of Courage. You're actually just... It's like you're not even there.
Right.
Okay, so now we get the puck after the Lich pickup from VP. Alliance are very BKB countered right now in their strategy. So I think we're going to see the next two heroes, both of them, have a physical component. And for VP, they banned the Slark.
What do you mean by that? How are they BKB countered?
10 seconds remaining.
Damage-wise. They have control, but they have no damage.
Gotcha.
5 seconds remaining.
Puck doesn't like it until Ags.
Right.
Wyvern, yeah, you can curse, but you can't... Like, they don't die, basically.
That's your right-click carry's job,
component,
in theory. Or
VP
your puck if you go right-click on her.
True, puck can do some right-click damage, but after the changes, I think it's way worse. The talent
you got to get a 15
really,
now. Yeah.
Yeah, you used to get 90 damage on level 15, and now you get 30 damage on level 10. That was a big nerf.
Yeah.
To that build. It still is probably the better build most of the time. There's the right click.
Yes!
Good matchup into Gyro. VP actually kind of can't kill this hero right now. I'll be honest. He'll get Living Armor, he'll get Cold Embrace if needed, and they don't have single target damage on VP's side, so need to find a solution to Lifestealer in the last pick. And what will no one play for that? Either they put Gyro mid and have no one play it, or Epikid plays Gyro and no one will play a physical component mid hero. Heroes that could kill Clinks that come to mind, or sorry, that could kill Lifesteal that come to mind would be Clinks. Possibly Ursa if you want to get a little wonky. Nobody plays Chaos Knight. It wouldn't.
I mean, do people build Orchid on Clinks at any point? I know I've seen a lot of just the rushing Deso and whatnot, but you could build Orchid technically.
You could
go against Lifesteal.
But again, it's dangerous to pick Clinks into Wyvern as well. Like if you want to kill the Lifesteal, Wyvern is a very interesting hero for that reason. That if you get jumped as Wyvern, you hate it, but literally anybody else getting jumped, you have counterplay for most strategies. Especially one of VP's nature, I think you counter it pretty hard because they have magic damage, but it's largely uncontrollable or AoE instead of single target. Like the barrage from Gyro is not controllable. Chain Frost is not controllable. Legions is AoE and not massively single target. The kind of heroes you don't want to face as Wyvern is something like Invoker or Storm Spirit, where there's insane magic burst or high mobility that catches you.
This is kind of a weird hero.
TA would have been good. That's a good ban, actually.
How good is Necro in this patch?
Depends.
Because Necro against Alliance's lineup is pretty good, right?
He looks good against Alliance. I agree 100%. I still worry a little bit about solving Lifestealer with that pick. Because, well, for Reaper to kill him, you need to get him under half first. You could kill him in duel. Maybe. Yeah,
I've seen no one play. I've seen him play it in the past, but not this patch. At least I don't remember. So, Enchantress. Goodness gracious! All right,
probably 3. So I'm guessing mid puck 3 Enchantress. Oh, they're picking quickly, right?
Oh,
there's your physical components.
Okay, good old alchemists. I love my Alchemist game, Cinder. You know that because that means, well, not really, but I like to think it means
Aghanim's Scepters.
In theory, but we never do because they never have time for it because they lose. Now, Lifesteal in the past, really good against Alchemist because his Feast would work based on current HP and it would do extra damage. That's no longer the case at all. It just heals Lifestealer. So not as hard of a counter, not even a hard counter at all to the Alchemist anymore. So what are your thoughts on Alch this game?
I still think the old Lifestealer build with hard single target physical can deal with Alch to an extent. If you get like Deso, you have this built-in attack speed from Feast. So in terms of laning, I don't actually know how this lane matchup would go. You might put Lifestealer mid. I'm not sure. I don't know if he fares well enough. I'm pretty certain Alch just free farms anyway. It's just a stray thought. So you're probably going to see Puck. I think it's an awesome Alch pick. Really taking advantage of last pick here, VP. And this will be, for me, will be a bigger test for Alliance than in the last game because I think this time, last game I liked VP's draft too, but there was the IO factor. That was a really big problem. This time you don't have that. And the enemy's last pick is kind of a trump card that you have to deal with here. So
Lifestealer versus Alchemist, two of my favorite. Well, Alchemist has been just a tried and true for me over the past few years. Lifestealer, I won't lie, not too much in the past, but this patch in particular, Cinder, as you know, huge Lifestealer fan right now. We've been seeing people rush Maelstrom into Halberd, but we'll see if it ends up being a Deso instead. Basically, Armad is not picked up anymore on this hero, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they end up choosing to go for this time around. Now, while we wait, Synderen, we can, of course, talk about something that will never actually happen in this game. Let's just assume that Alchemist is able to get Aghanim Scepter to everybody.
Yeah.
Who are your first heroes? I mean, Gyro has to build his own already, so that's not really a thing, right? He has to get it early. Rubik, in my Ags list, Synderen, as you know, is the #1 hero in the entire game with Aghanim Scepter.
I think you give it to Rubik because Coil or Overgrowth would both be, or sorry, not Overgrowth. Wait, can you steal the Treant Axe?
Yes.
How do you steal it?
If he uses his spell, you steal it. He has to use
So then it's not Axe aligned at all.
Wait, are you talking about Overgrowth or the eyes?
I'm talking about the eyes.
Yeah, if he just casts his his eyes. You
So
just
that's
steal the
not
spell.
tied to Ags at all. Rubik doesn't need Ags to get the ability. If Treant has Ags and uses Eye in
Right.
the Forest and you spell steal him, you get that spell.
I'm not going to sit here and say I know 100%, but
No, but
mechanically
it makes
speaking, yes,
sense.
that's how it should work.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, interesting. So then that makes the Rubik eggs worse for me in the game than I would have thought at first, because it's not tied to Overgrowth as a secondary ability you get then. Then you might honestly give it to
Their Ags are
Lich
not
first.
great. Lich has like the poor man's black hole, right, with Sinister
Yeah.
Gaze. Legions can just be downright awful, depending on the game state. And obviously Gyro already have one, so yeah. Maybe just give it to yourself on Alchemist, let's be real. The extra 30 damage and attack speed or whatever it is. Tasty, tasty stuff.
Yeah, giving it to Legion can kind of be griefing, actually. I really
true.
don't like Legion's eggs in general. I've had a couple of Legion games. I've watched Legion games, and a lot of the time you buy eggs, you actually feel like it's worse than if you didn't have it.
Well,
And the item you could buy instead would be BKB, right? And that most of the time you want to duel someone and your teammates help kill them, right?
yes. I think it's
So-
just completely game dependent, and it's very likely that it's usually not good. It's completely situational. And I think the biggest thing that we've seen, even in pro play, is teammates not being used to it because they just waste a lot of spells on these heroes, right? So, something to keep in mind. Of course, we will never see it, so not sure why we're even talking about it. Resolution in the meantime, taking open wounds, getting very, very slow on top of the grasp from Fata, and that is going to be first blood going the way of the Treant Protector with the Orb of Venom. Gotta love it.
I think
Level 1,
Rezo
open
might have
wounds.
actually lived by running left.
Yeah, he was
So
slow
he-
pretty much the whole time.
He pressed the attack to off Arctic Burn, and then he got open wounded. But the whole open wounds, he was running through the grasp and maybe running left. Even if he were to die anyway, he would have pulled the enemy team a little bit away from the lane. But either way, yeah, didn't really. He might have died regardless. Fata has Orb of Venom, so actually, yeah, he was dead regardless. Never mind
These are
that.
some very interesting lanes, though, Cinder. We have Enchantress versus Gyro solo. I haven't seen a ton of Enchantress since the change, but I mean, getting the impetus that early now, obviously doing less damage than the old ult, but still, that's got to seem like a pretty freaking good matchup for her.
Compared to last game where he was Doom against Slark, I think 33 will have a field day with this one. Gyro is one of the better carries against Ench just because he has so much magic damage through the Rocket Barrage, but in a one-on-one lane, Enchantress needs to make a big mistake to ever be susceptible to it anyway.
I mean, you're always going to be next to creeps, right? For the most part.
Yeah. Or you're just going to outrun the Gyro. You have better base move speed too. By a whopping 4, so never mind. Ench
That's
got
a
nerfed.
huge
I thought the
amount.
difference was actually bigger.
Huge.
But yeah.
So it is going to be a try-v-try. The Lifestealer, Treant, and Wyvern. That is ridiculous amounts of slow. Holy crap. That's insane. Of course, open wounds, very short range at level 1, but he doesn't really need much considering you have 2 on top of that already. We're going to see a TP out, though, from
Yeah,
VP. So
Solo.
Solo's going top now. You expect, I guess, somebody from maybe Hanskin or Fata will just rotate to top at this point, most likely. Once they see this. Resolution. Press the attacking off. That annoying Wyvern slow. By the way, what do you think of PTA? Press the attack. This is Kezu's coined phrase. or
PTA?
term. Yeah. I told him it sounded too much like PDA.
Oh, I the only thing I'm thinking is PSA.
Oh, it is kind of a PSA at the same time, though, right?
Yes.
Public service announcement.
He can keep that term.
Okay.
That's fine. It's his. He coined it. It's his. Nobody else will ever use it.
I'm probably going to use it in a team fight here. It is much easier to say PDA than press the attack. So
I
we'll
just
see.
call it press.
He pressed him.
Yeah.
It sounds awful.
Well, thank you.
Everything you do.
You think press is worse than PTA?
Yes.
Okay.
Chat, help me out here.
I thought there's plenty of wrong opinions in the world. You're not the first.
You're just ganging up on me because I'm an American.
Ganging up on you one-on-one.
You're ganging
Damn.
up on me with your greater intellect.
Me
Nico,
and
baby,
my brain versus you.
You're two beings in one. Let's be real. 19-3 CS right now versus the Legion Commander, which is 9-1. So he's having a very good time. I have to say, the changes to Lifestealer, for the most part, I mean, you get less damage, as we're going to see a courier be killed, actually. That is Fata's courier. That's not great for him, but he is just a support after all. But in lane, Lifestealer, it almost feels like you're not playing Dota, because his attack speed is just always amazing. And you even have this talent at 10 that everybody takes. Just feels like a true hard carry now. Feels so nice.
It feels more, how to say, it's more flexible as a pick in the sense that you're not as reliant on the enemy team being targets for Feast anymore.
Yeah.
You're good against most carries because it's more about you than it's about the opponent.
And I think the changes to Infest also make it a little bit more versatile as well, because before you pick it up as, I mean, it was, I wouldn't say it's one-dimensional, but at the same time, a lot of times you want to pick a hero that goes well with it so you can initiate into combat or whatever, but now you can just use it as an actual save, and then you can reinitiate back into the game, or into the fight, based on the healing that you get. Really like the changes to the ult. Just everything about this hero that's changed, it just feels really good right now. So he's going straight up Maelstrom, by the way. And he already has Javelin. He's doing quite well.
Yep. This is the build that we saw in the minor from Monet quite a lot when he played Lifestealer for RNG. Getting Javelin before boots, and just taking advantage of your attack speed. If anybody tries to man-fight you, they lose.
Yeah.
You just hit way too fast, and this is so much damage per gold for a high attack speed hero.
So the build is Maelstrom typically Maelstrom into Halberd, and then you finish Mjolnir. And you get phase boots at some point in there.
Yeah.
We'll see if he ends up going for that. Gyrocopter, Epileptic Kid, TPing out to safety. Actually, where the hell did he go? Oh, he just went back to the tower.
Tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
He just caught in a weird spot.
Yeah. That's the lane for VP that's not going too well. But as far as mid lane goes, Alchemist's game plan is coming along very nicely. He's getting good farm against the puck. He should have pretty good access to his own jungle. Alliance doesn't have the best invasive team just yet, but they will eventually. No one's going to clean up this wave mid. Yeah, the two side lanes for VP could definitely be going better. Legion's game is fine, I would say, but still, you know, losing to Lifestealer from this trialing scenario. These vines from Fata will not be too great. Pressed it off.
He forces him.
PTAing it off.
Yeah, PTAing it off. What was that sound, Syndern? Was that Craigasm by any chance? It sounded like you really enjoyed
yeah,
it.
exactly that one, yes. Perfect read.
Thank you. I'm really good at the emote game in Twitch. I don't know if you know about this. I'm a big Twitch chat guy, personally. All right, top lane, homing missile being applied to 33. Epileptic Kid. I can never say this guy's name. Epi on the gyrocopter. Getting really low. Wyvern doing extra damage now, and yeah, he should be dead. One last right click from Fata.
It's like, I'm hoping. Put on the Nature's Grasp, killed him after doing like 20 damage.
Fata really contributed to that fight, as he is now 2-0. What a god, actually. And very soon, Enchantress is going to have her ult. In fact, right now she does, so she's going to be even stronger. But Hanskin getting caught off guard here. Epi on the gyro, attempting to run away, just taking a shit ton of damage from the Enchantress. Wyvern will die, and now 33 thinking better things as Resolution comes in TPs to help his comrades. But Gyrocopter dies just after TPing to that tower, so his game just got really hard.
Yeah. This looks grim for him, and seems like it's a... This is a strategy Alliance have definitely practiced of... If they see a weakness in the enemy laning, coming from, I think, you know, they know Enchantress wins this lane. They have to know this. That is very one-sided, and will force
Limp
rotation.
just took almost every creep, and no one is not too happy about it. Oh my god. That was sick. That was a really good orb. Hanskin getting caught off a little bit here, but we'll just jump right away, and looks like the Lich is going to die. So Alliance getting everything right now.
They're styling on it right now. That was super good all around. Not only did they pull this play off and got the gyro kill and then steal the stack, but their lifestealer wasn't even involved. This was a 4-on-5 play. VP brought everybody up there, including their offlane Legion, who's now really far behind in the lane. Like, 2 minutes ago, it was a 500 lead for Nico Baby. Now it's 1200. And this is without Legion dying since then. Legion's death was first blood. So the gap is definitely increasing here. Yeah, just really good stuff from Alliance. Predicting that they need to go up there at this exact time, taking advantage of Enchantress's power spike against Gyro to get that kill and then steal the stack. Just textbook stuff. Really, really good.
Yep, no one working on his Radiance. No surprise there. Started out with the Treads double bracer, though. I mean, fairly standard for the most part. I mean, even with this, his Radiance timing doesn't look that far off, so his game's not completely ruined or anything like that. But it's really the Gyro is quite far behind now. Like
it's 9 minutes in, and you have about the same net worth as the Lifestealer. That is... It's not tragic, but it's not great either. Like, it's... If he would have got the stack that Puck stole, he would have, I think, 5.3k. I think that was about 500 gold for Alchemist. Maybe not 500, like 300. So he would be starting to build a more sizable gap. If Alliance can keep this kind of net worth distribution in the game, I think they can solve Alchemist with their strat. I think it's enough. Legion's, and especially Gyro's game, is just... I don't even know what word describes Gyro's current state in this game. It's
dumpstered.
It's worse than dumpstered, I think. It's like
Nico Baby pops the Rage, gives him a little extra move speed now. And this is about the 10-minute mark, so they're going to fight over this outpost, and the top one is completely abandoned right now, so it should be interesting to see who actually gets this. Right now it looks to be in Alliance's favor, as Hanskin will essentially solo it. But at the same time, actually, Treant Protector could solo it himself right now if he wants for the top, so...
he knows there's nobody there. He'll go there eventually. Just being greedy and getting the farm. Another great read from Alliance. They know Alchemist is not ready yet. They know Gyro's game is terrible, so they feel strong in winning this bottom fight. And with the top tier 1 tower being taken and the wave pushed in this far toward the tier 2, Alliance know that VP are not showing any presence up here. So one of two things could have happened. VP could have smoked to get this top outpost, in which case they would just run into a Treant, which is a very minor loss. Or they play defensively and farm. You get both outposts and 4 bounties. They got 4, right? They got 3. Okay. That's still very, very good for Alliance.
Indeed. Broom handle on the Lifestealer now. Actually pretty damn good for him overall. Gives solid stats. And he's going to be able to...
one of the best carries to get it on.
Yeah, he's up there for sure. And this tier 1 tower is fortified by VP. I'm not sure if they can even defend this.
Rezo, bottom.
Oh, Rezo being... He could PTA.
He would have got...
Did not.
One more hit and Infest could have done the job there. And Nico's just zoning him. Man, you're Legion. When you're Legion and this happens, you're not happy. Man. You're getting zoned by a carry. One-on-one as Legion Commander.
Yeah. It's a rough game for him to start, but I mean, it's more so Nico Baby's game is just so good right now. Phase boot, Maelstrom. We'll be going for the Halberd, like we said. So very, very standard build from what we've been seeing from a lot of carry players. And we'll see if VP can actually do anything to kind of slow down his farm, because right now it's just going to amplify. The Maelstrom just being picked up that early with the... I mean, once you get this attack speed talent in just a second here as well, it's going to add insult to injury. I mean, if you look at the other, like Gyro right now, look at his farm. He's in the middle of the pack, actually lower than middle. Has phase boost Wraithman. That's it. That is super rough. But no one will be finishing the Radiance very shortly, and that will amplify his farm quite a bit, as we've seen a million times. Now, this could be a game. I don't want to sound too crazy here, Synderen, but I love to sound crazy, as it looks like Solo is going to be soloed here from Limp. Yeah, he's mega dead. I'm sorry, 33 actually gets the kill here. Is there any way that because Gyro is so far behind right now, that Alchemist, no one farms him an Aghanim Scepter relatively early so that he doesn't have to buy it himself? Is that worth it?
I don't think Gyro's matchups in the game are good enough for that to be worth it. He still is dealing with Lifestealer and Enchantress, and I think that is a losing battle. So the more Alchemist net worth you give away to another hero right now, I think is a mistake. No one has to be positioned... I mean, you're Alchemist. You're position 1, right?
Yeah.
But he has to really look after himself. Solo, all right, he tried to defend that tower. That did not work.
Yeah, he's still level 5, so can't even throw out a casual Chain Frost, unfortunately for him. Really struggling. Nico baby will find a couple heroes,
1v3.
in fact 3, and they are running from him. This is how strong he is right now. We'll infest into a creep. Give him the old purge effect here. And he will actually force everyone away. Of course, there were some TPs, but he's strong.
No one?
Well, they actually might find the
hood,
Enchantress.
He hooded now after all the magic damage came out.
He is fine.
He still lives. 33 could have definitely played that better, but it was enough, just enough in that moment.
Nature's Attendant still strong, and of course the untouchable ult. Very strong. Is this actually... I'm trying to remember. Are these the same attack slows that it used to give? Like, what did it scale to before?
It used to give 30, 60, 90, 120.
Okay, so it's a little bit stronger. That's funny.
I don't remember the exact numbers on the final version of it. No, it was different. It was 30, 80, 130, 180, I think.
Oh, so it did scale
at one
same
point.
amount.
So I think the level 3 ult is the same as the old 4 point.
Right. Oh, Coil completely missed. And that might ruin this battle as Fata gets off the overgrowth, which is pretty nice timing because he gets dueled shortly after, but he will die, but no duel damage is given. That's good news for Alliance fans out there. And now they're going to turn all their pressure onto 33, who will drop dead. Nico Baby's like, hey, I got Sange now. All right, see ya. And he does not have Infest, actually, so he scares away the entirety of VP, despite being relatively alone there.
Yeah, they missed some spells, right? The Coil whiffed, and then on the exit play from Puck, he would have killed Rezo if he hit the orb, but he only hit the silence. So Limp with a couple of mechanical mistakes there. It's not too bad for Alliance, because they still control the map and get bounty runes here. But they would have obviously loved to at least find a trade-off there in kills. They might find Rezo now, though. Nope,
they don't really have... Yeah, they still don't have the ults back.
2 TPs forced, though. I'll be happy about that. On a non-play, getting 2 TPs, that's great.
The good news is the solo gets the Philosopher's Stone Syndrome. That'll get him back in the game. He feels much better about his deaths now, let me tell you.
Yeah. Great. Now he's going to die on purpose so that he can just watch the money tick in without having to play his hero.
That's the play.
Well, they did give it to save,
for running in to death, right?
I think they're going to keep it on save as well, realistically. They'd much rather give Rubik a key item in this game than try to get Lich to something meaningful. I don't think it's going to happen. You're playing an Alchemist game and you've lost your 3 tier 1s minute 15. Your map space is just limited. So Rubik can't also have a usually good game.
Plus, Solo is just so used to not having farm, he doesn't even know what to do with it at this point, right? He's used to being position 6.
Like, he doesn't know what's in the shop.
he had never bounded the shop, actually, to a hotkey, so he struggles with buying actual items. As Nico Baby has the full halberd now, in addition to the Vampire Fangs, giving him a little bit extra night vision and lifesteal. And this looks to be a free tier 2 as well.
This guy?
I don't know. It's okay. It's probably pretty good on Enchantress, right?
That's what I was thinking. You could give it to Ench. Also because she benefits from the night vision, right? She can get a chance to get it. She doesn't have attack range that's high enough, but she will have an idea of who she can target earlier on.
Yeah, Fata getting initiated on, but on the other side, Nico Baby jumps onto Gyrocopter, and he dies immediately. Solo procs the stun from the Coil, and will go down to the right click of the Enchantress. And there is the Solo curse onto the Alchemist. Mr. No One trying to get something out of this. Pops the BKB, but gets halberded right before that, so can't really do anything. Will attempt to TP out, and should be successful as every BKB piercing stun has been expended. But a 3 for nothing.
If Hanskin could have kept Curse, they might have even got him there. And I understand completely where he came from with that Curse. No one had just popped this ulti he was running in. There were heroes that were maybe in jeopardy. So you just put a hold on it, buy time for heroes to get in right position, get their cooldowns back. But you also do give him an escape. I think he didn't know no one had the BKB. That was the 10-second reveal. Or he might have played that fight differently. Because, oh, he actually doesn't have a single point in Cold Embrace. I was just about to say, like, you don't need to be that worried about Alchemist because, you know, all his damage is physical. So if he goes on somebody and you're in range, you can save anybody from this hero. But, well, not with this skill build. Very aggressive build from Hanskin. He has the damage talent and 440. I don't... It's a bit surprising. The one value point Cold Embrace can be awesome in a game like this.
Yeah.
But, well, they haven't really needed it, so I guess it's fine.
I mean, how many duels have we actually seen? One?
One.
None of them
and it wasn't
successful
one.
yet? Yeah.
Yeah.
Limp is infested right now. The fine resolution, coil into open wounds. And this looks to be a potential kill. Yeah, he will actually get stunned after the fact. So it's a 1-for-1 as Treant Protector. As you said, Fata dies on the backside. And now no one applying a little bit of pressure to 33.
Oh, that is not a good
Gyro
call
with
down.
a missed call down, and I'm not sure if they actually want to fight this anymore, but Unstable Concoction is available to use. Gets a random courier, as we've been seeing left, right, and center in this patch. Pops the BKB. Both BKBs have just been mega defensive and just running away, essentially, so
Yeah.
it's not felt good for no one.
Exactly. It's if you use your first BKBs like this, you basically missed a timing, right? You bought this item so that you could win fights. And you're using them as an exit tool, which, yeah, it's great you're not dying, but if this is all your BKB is used for, you could have had another combat or farming item, such as the AC, could have been done already instead, if you would have farmed more instead of trying to fight. But VP feel pressure to fight into Alliance. They're just not really winning the engages.
Yeah, we're seeing the Wyvern beat into the Rubik, and he will actually get the kill. In the meantime, it looks to be a potential another trade, but this time Enchantress gets healed from that value level of Cold Embrace finally applied, or finally skilled, I should say. Call down again, not hitting anything, and not sure if VP wants to continue this. Fata, yep, takes out that mango tree, and no one wants revenge. He planted that tree himself. Concoction will connect on the Treant Protector, but Limp comes in with the coil. Looks like Lich will die right after that Frost Blast comes out. He actually does get stunned. Very close to living there. A 2-for-1. Duel comes out. And finally, resolution with a little bit of extra damage to work with. And a much needed kill on
Very happy about that. Dying as a 5 in this kind of game to get a kill on the Puck, who is having a great game, is a huge win for them. 550 gold for Rezo. He gets the duel win, like you said. It's momentum. Like, it doesn't really change the actual state of the game, but it might change the mindsets of the players a bit. It just feels nice when something good gets going your way.
They're going to use Curse onto Alchemist, into a Centaur Stomp, into the slow. He has to pop BKB. We've seen this before, Cinderin. The BKB runaway, that is now down to 7 seconds. Ay, ay, ay. That is rough. At least he's not dying, though. Great. Well, he died the first time.
No, he hasn't died. The first time they also didn't have Curse. They pre-used it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
He's still deathless.
Well, we're going to see another Infest Bomb. And they want to go for Resolution. There's that 18 damage coil to begin. Waning Rift into more slows from Fata. And, well, he gets the PTA off, ladies and gentlemen. PSA, there's a PTA used, and he will live.
I hate it. I hate it even more now.
Is it because Kezu came up with it?
No, it's because of how you use it.
Uh-oh.
This time there's no BKB.
Yeah. He pops his
One
ult,
impetus
he's
will do it.
regenning, and the impetus not enough. A nice lift, and he will live again. So many missed kills on no one.
Yeah, he had wrong pathing there on the Enchantress. It felt like he had right-clicked his impetus instead of walking into the tree line. He could have got 2 impetus hits off, and no one was definitely dead there. So, bit of a mistake on 33's part, and he stays alive, but probably going to custom Roshan regardless.
Yeah.
Map control is not exactly in VP's favor for any part of this game. They've lost 3 towers 10 minutes ago, and they've barely even done damage to mid towers half.
I wonder why he raged.
The rest
right
of the
there.
towers are fine.
I'm so confused. Did he misclick? He just raged in Roshan pit for some reason.
He wants the move speed.
Yeah, the move speed, very important. He will be going Basher, which is no surprise. I was going to mention that he probably will go full Abyssal, but he doesn't have that queued up. What?
More rage move speed there.
Oh, he did? Wait, what? Okay, am I missing something? I must be missing something.
I don't know. I don't know it either.
We have to be missing something. It's just move speed and essentially just magic immunity. That's it. That's literally all there is to it. I want to look at his talents real quick. Yep, 30 damage, 30 attack speed. It's pretty much cookie cutter build right now for Lifestealers, but it just feels so strong.
Yep. It's really good. And now that Alchemist BKB is already down to 7, your Halberd just increased in value by a lot. Because the downtime where you can't just flat out deal with Alch has been cut by 50% almost. So VP need to find a way of opening the fights where they actually get to burst a key hero. I don't think long fights favor them. And usually they favor Elk, but
They want Handskin.
it doesn't really seem that way this time around.
Yeah, the problem right now is they just don't have blink daggers on these. Obviously, Rubik is pretty poor, and Resolution does not have that. Coil will be used on the Rubik. Living for quite a while,
orb
but
action.
yeah, Wyvern is here now to finish the job. Handskin, by the way, you were correct. Treads, drums, going into Orchid now. And I'm excited
that's
to
the
see it.
position 3 build, but he's actually doing it on 4. He's
Yeah.
playing it as a damage dealing hero.
I like
I
it.
like it. I like it this game. It's good. I think they're well enough in control because of their tanky frontliners that he can play an aggressive build. They don't need him to play a very like Glimmer Cape Force Staff kind of build because Enchantress is innately super tanky, Lifestealer is innately super tanky, and I mean you still have your defensive kit, right? You still have the Cold Embrace and Trained Living Armor. I dig it. Now I kind of want to try this build myself
Don't do it.
as a position 4 hero. I love this hero. It's one of my absolute favorites to play for a long time now, the Wyvern. So
It just feels like a support that
cool.
just always has a high impact. Could be negative, but it's a high impact one way or the other.
that's your games.
How dare you? I don't play that hero. Alchemist getting initiated on, still has the BKB ready to go. Trying to save those precious, precious charges that he has. And he's at half HP already. And this tower looks to be not long for this world. But it is backdoor protected for now. Nico Baby, another Hyperstone. Interesting. Going for an AC, it looks like. So decides not to go for the Basher. And they'll find a free Lich kill. Are you surprised by that at all? The no Basher? Just straight up AC?
I think they want to try to end the game with building damage, maybe. It's like, if I have an ace...
Oh, this will be a big... the Infest. Into the catapult.
So, with AC, he empowers his Wyvern, his Puck, who went the physical... Actually, no, Puck went magical, though. Never mind. Full on magical.
Rubik is dead. Lich buys
another
back
support.
into the game. There you see again the Halberd onto Alchemist, who will stun himself into the PTA. Nico Baby applying as much right-clicks damage as possible with that Mjolnir attached. No one... Just feels like he's not doing a whole lot. He's just kind of just getting kited constantly. And these double buyback for Virtus.pro is just not doing anything. And the tier 2 tower will finally fall. But so much was expended from VP in terms of economic damage.
They got nothing out of it. The only saving grace for this was that Gyrocopter used his drum to go and pick up 2 bounty runes bottom. So at least they got that, but yeah. Even though Puck doesn't go physical damage, I can still get behind the AC, get the minus armor out on the Lifestealer, just go to town, super high attack speed, obviously. And yeah, you're enabling some other heroes a bit. You're enabling the Wyvern, you're enabling the Enchantress a bit more, and you most importantly, you take buildings. I think Alliance just feel in control of the game and that they can go from one building to the next.
Yeah, it doesn't really have to save for buyback either, with all these towers still up and running. I mean, they haven't lost one tower yet. And they have a Treant Protector anyway, so they're all probably full HP at this point. So he will likely just buy the AC straight up now. Where is he?
Look at that attack speed on Lifestealer.
Also has a Mindbreaker, by the way. Not too shabby.
He hits 3 times a second, Shannon. Non-stop.
Dude, I'm telling
Now
you,
that
this
it's not
hero
bound to rage
feels
anymore.
incredible. And I used to be a huge Lifestealer player back in the day. He just has never felt this good. So nice. Resolution, coiled, and well, he's actually staving off a lot of this damage. He gets off the duel, actually will finish off the Puck. Dies shortly after, back up in the game as well. 33 on the run. We're seeing the Overgrowth being used. And that's going to be a free easy kill on the solo. No one attempting to run away. Still has the BKB. Might have to pop it here. Concoction, but there is the curse.
Really good curse. Very, very
Will he stun himself? What is the timing on this? No. Will actually blink out
well,
right
hello.
after the fact. So, in theory, if it was about a second
In theory,
later, he would have
very
stunned
great
later.
curse.
In theory, it would have been good. But
That's
either way,
another buyback.
Yeah, that's
Rezo
more
bought
buybacks.
back now too. You have 10k gold disadvantage with Alchemist. It's looking really grim now. Like because nobody else in the game poses any threat to the Alliance line except the Alch. Well, arguably the biggest threat would be the Legion duel, but they can just save from that.
Not
Except
from this,
now,
though.
when you're in the middle of nowhere.
54 dual damage for Rezo. The buyback was worth it, ladies and gentlemen. He got it. Orchid is now officially on Handskin, by the way. So BKB on Gyro. He just has no damage right now, and I can't blame him for this build because he's just dying a lot. They're just so far behind. Like, if you look at the network,
no one?
He's not even a core hero. Alchemist getting chased, and you're seeing the Kobold come in. As Nico Baby pops out, says hello. And no one pops the BKB finally, and there we
nice
see the coil
backline
onto
coil.
2. Lich dies straight up. Looks like Rubik might be next on the plate. Another disarm onto no one. He can't really do a whole lot, and Impetus continues to come through onto Save, who will drop dead of his own accord. So 2 for nothing in this little exchange here. And with that AC now, like you said, the building damage can come if they want.
Yeah, they have a wave coming in a sec, so they can start going to town. And how do you kill Lifestealer? That's the challenge here. He has
Blade
he
Mail
has
Blink
33 armor.
on Resolution.
He's just gonna
He
get cold
doesn't have.
embraced. Like it won't even deal damage. This is a checkmate situation for me because the Lifestealer can do all the building damage on his own and feel extremely safe about it. So if you can't jump the backline, you're never getting the fight you want. He even has a Paladin sword. Like it's just.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's so
I
good
think
on
he can
this
just
hero.
go to the next lane. I think he can go mid. And Alliance might play it safe here, but to me, Nico feels basically invincible.
Yep, I agree.
That was we talked about it in the draft, right? After we saw the first 4 picks of VP, or like they don't have single target damage, and they last picked this Alchemist, but his game just flat out hasn't been good enough to be able to stand up to Lifestealer. So Nico can kind of choose a target and go.
And they get both outposts. And I was good. Okay, I was just going to say this. The 2 best tier 3 items for Lifestealer are Orb of Destruction, which they just got, and Paladin Sword. But I don't know if he's actually going to hold the orb. We'll see.
No one.
Looks like he might have bought a Basher already.
He might get caught now, though. Henskin, if he checks to the right, man, they're checking all the wrong spots.
Oh, Fata.
Good thing to have a Treant.
Oh, he walks right by.
No way.
No one, actually.
No abs. Okay, they scanned now.
Yeah, they did. They know he's there, and he's taunting. Hopefully they can't hear through the trees.
This is absurd to watch. This is so. Oh my god! And now he TPs.
Fata! Overgrowth.
Oh, you
He could have
couldn't
TP'd
write
so
this,
long
man.
ago. Oh man, and that is going to be an easy kill. It turns out that the trees are not soundproof, Cinderin. The taunt was heard around the world. And they're just
He
gonna
dodged
go to
them
the
for
top now.
25 seconds. This is the equivalent of the moment in CS:GO where you're holding an angle for 20 seconds, and the moment you take your crosshair away, somebody jumps in and one-shots you. That's literally what happened right there. He dodged them 25 seconds straight, and then when he TPs, they find him.
That's
And
my
it wasn't
CS
like-
career in a nutshell, Cinderin. It's just always
That is
happened to me.
actually your CS career.
Yeah, it's
You
very
just
sad.
died.
I can relate, no one. I'm so sorry, buddy.
Oh man.
So he did buy the Basher. That's why he's not going to hold the Orb of Destruction. But Limp,
Yeah.
no, who actually has it?
I think it's on. Wait, is that Wyvern?
No?
Did they pick it up?
I'm very confused right now.
I think they didn't realize they don't have it, do they?
Oh, they see it
said
now.
they-
It's on the ground. Like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah, they
they
found
probably
it, but
think they
nobody took
stole
it.
it too. Like, oh, we just stole their item. Little do they
nice,
know,
guys.
it's their own. All right, now I'm interested who holds it. Lifestealer might hold it instead of the Paladin Sword, I suppose. Although he's just going to take Aegis, so. Although I don't think he can die, right? So maybe Aegis is a little overkill. It's pretty, I mean, he's the only building
It's
damager, though, right? So
extreme
you just do it.
failsafe now.
Yeah.
Because at the same, VP will have to go on him, and this means even if they kill him, they will have to commit key cooldowns such as Duel, probably. And then if they somehow manage, how are you killing him?
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's a very, very good catch.
Oh, the coil into Overgrowth. A little bit of overlap, but they'll still probably take this fight regardless. Lich will be the first to fall. Oh, Train Protector gets completely destroyed by the Alchemist. He's doing a lot of damage now with that AC. But disarmed, BKB is popped now. Doesn't really want to go into 33 as Gyro just has to run away. Will finally go down to the Impetus. Look at this attack speed on 33. Good lord.
Grove Bow, you love it.
Yes,
You
what
love
a
seeing
great,
that on
clean
Shanti.
item. Just wait till we get to the 70-minute mark and he gets the... what's that item called?
Ballista?
Yeah, the Ballista.
Yeah, I can't wait until we get to the 70-minute mark in this game, Shannon.
Hey,
It seems
we
like
can
a
do
very... VP are definitely coming back from this 2% win chance game. Here it is.
How is it even 2? Nico Baby getting the mid lane for himself. We'll just immediately transition to bot. And look at how little damage they do, Synderen. Solo, he gets bashed on first hit into the PDA. Or PTA.
Now you're even saying it with a D. Like,
I know, I can't remember
press
which
the
one.
attack mod.
There's some problem. As Lifestealer will get stunned up, and he will continue to potentially dive the fountain. They need to dive the fountain about 4 or 5 times before VP can actually come back in this game, it feels like. Nico Baby, again, still the Aegis, and he's still not even remotely close to going down. So who has this orb? Please.
I think it's on the Wyvern.
The Wyvern? Alright, Wyvern finally has
Nico's
it. Save
in.
will drop. There's the silence on the Lifestealer. The curse to follow, though. A lot of overlapping stuns. Nobody really cares what's going on at this point because it looks to be super over. No one's going to BKB and TP out. But there's the bash and the overgrowth. Adding more insult to injury as GG comes out. VP get taken out in this best of 3. 2-0 by Alliance. And this game was very... I mean, both were pretty convincing, but this one especially.
There was a serious class difference today, I think. I want to say VP are definitely better than this. It's either Alliance are really amazing or VP had a bad day. If this is genuinely the relative strength difference, VP are looking in a rough spot for the tournament. They got crushed. Yeah. Alliance is either one of the absolute best teams going in, or this was not a good showing from VP. But man, they just got... I feel like they got handled in both games. This was not really close in either of the game. Just outplayed, outmaneuvered, outpushed, outlaned. It didn't feel like there was a single aspect of the game that VP were better at today. And that's just really promising if you're an Alliance fan. And if you're a VP fan, this team can bounce back. They've had some bad day ones and then broken even in groups and still made it out. Maybe they can take second, but there's work to be done here. That was a beatdown. It really was a beatdown.
It was a beatdown indeed. We're looking at the graph now. Not even remotely close. Even Dota Plus knew it right off the bat. 8 minutes in, it's like, you know what? This game's over, guys. I think it's time to pack it up. But there will be another day, of course, for Virtus.pro to kind of redeem themselves, so to speak. So that's the end of the games today, though, guys. Tomorrow we will be covering the final 3 best of 3s. So if my memory serves me right, it's going to be VP versus Reality Rift.
Yes.
And then Alliance versus IG. And of course, as we talked about, the top 2 of this group will go on to the upper bracket for the main event. And the bottom 2 are not eliminated. They will go to the lower bracket, which is a best of 1, so very scary. Nobody wants to be in that position. Synderen, you will be back.
Based on,
okay, please.
Yeah, just quickly,
yes.
Based on today's games, I think it's fair to say that Alliance are probably the favorites tomorrow. Against IG. IG did drop a game to Reality Rift, and then they took the next 2. You were
pretty
casting
convincing
that game and probably a bit more
season.
Close. You watched it more closely than I did, of course, but I would imagine you feel like IG overall looked a bit weaker, at least, than Alliance.
It's tough to say because
from dropping a game and just overall in the games, but
I don't know how strong Reality Rift is because I was going in looking at kind of everyone's tier list and. The other 3 teams, Alliance, Virtus.pro, and IG, were kind of around the same level, and then Reality Rift is just this big unknown. They took game 1, but it just felt like, I mean, for me at least, it felt like it was a warm-up game for IG, and then the next 2 games were relatively easy for them.
They were as one-sided as these 2?
Not as one-sided.
I know game 3 was. Game 3 definitely was. They crushed them in game 3.
So, not that Alliance didn't play well, because they did. I feel like VP just underperformed greatly in these 2 games as well, so that might... I mean, we'll see. Tomorrow's another day, Synderen, as they say.
It is. So you were going to say about the casting tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back with you for 1 game, 1 series. And then probably Kezu again, depending on how because he's playing in some matches, so it just depends on results. So we'll have to see. Worst
and then the
case...
third series is...
Well, it'll be Kezu for both in theory. So
okay, gotcha.
So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Sunsfan and Synderen signing out. I'm sure there's some other games going on for the DreamHack Major right now, so go and stay tuned. Goodbye, friends.
Bye.